grew up in the trucking industry. I'm a mechanic by trade. My dad had taught me how to work on trucks. We had Saunders and Sons Trucking, unrelated to Saunders in Alabama. Then he taught me how to drive, so I'll give you a little about my age. I got Class A in 1974. But because of my love in the industry, I've remained in it all these years. I have a hearing defect, and I can speak okay and everything, but you might wonder if I got a shoe in the back. I don't. But my hearing defect did put an obstacle to me to be able to pass the physical to drive, and of course to work on it. So in 1989 or so, the doc said, I grew up in Temple, Texas. He said, hey, you're going to have to find another line of work with your hearing. I said, Doc, I can't. I've been in the industry all my life. So growing up in Temple, Great McLean, we own the Houston Astros now. McLean Grocer's been around a long, long time. So I went over there actually to get a break on running their shop, their maintenance facility. And, it's pretty interesting when you look back at '89 and now you speed up to 2010. That's an era when the EPA was regulating the R12, the R22, the R34. They couldn't figure out what they wanted. And we had a bunch of thermal king units, and I look back and I think about, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We can't get R12. We've got 4,400 power units. We've got 10,000 trailers. It all seemed to work itself out. But in 2001, I was asked to join a new company called Transplate. Now prior to that, after I had left Temple, I went to work for ComData. And I was the Director of Government Affairs, so I had a lot of exposure to work in Washington, D.C. It was extremely neat. I certainly didn't know how it was going to work out today. That's what got me to Transplate. And it started by David Hunt, Warner, Swift, Covenant, Jeff Quest, and then Kerry, which is now Swift. My task was to develop an electronic driver file system and drug testing program for the members of Transplate, because they had new regulatory guidelines coming out in August of 2001, and they were figuring out how we're going to get these test results turned around, since we have to have the chain of custody release the result. So it was a task, a monumental task to say the least. But the founder did approach me. I certainly really wasn't hired to solely do that. It was they knew I had been on the, under ComData's umbrella. I'd been on a task force committee with the Inspector General's office over safe debt, if you all remember. They were reporting accidents erroneous on the safe debt. And so that's how I met Dave Olszewski and the people at ATA, and fortunate enough to work with them. So that's how the folks at Transplate, and some of them knew my dad, then that's how they ended up asking me to come over there and work with them on monitoring the safe debt scores for the membership. They wanted to haul capacity for Transplate. So that's the story behind how this thing evolved. So in 2005, the founders of the company had approached and said, you have a lot of data. You have a lot of our data in the system. So rather than spinning off that and selling that particular piece of it, we'd like you to take it and run it yourself. So now we'll be, just take it and run it and don't mess it up. So that it allowed me to grow and expand outside of Transplate. Otherwise, it was just going to cost them. So it's really been blessed. I mean, we've been able to grow and grow and grow. Compliant Safety Systems, I came up with that name based off of a project we had at McLean years and years ago called Visual Dispatch. And I could see way back then, running the maintenance facility, I had 45 terminals. We had a mainframe system, and that was our communication tool, making sure that the equipment was fixed and making sure that the division did what they were supposed to. So I thought when the internet came out, I saw that as your virtual dispatch. I saw that as your visual dispatch. I saw that as your more centralized management control tool going forward. So that's how this thing started. And 3,500 customers later, we're still growing, and it's just been great. But one of the things I've learned over the years is information. without application brings us frustration. And there's a lot of stuff going on with CSA 2010.